Good morning, good morning. It's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. And whew, sorry I'm a little bit late. I had some camera issues. I don't know if my face cam is dying or what, but I had to plug it in all the different places to get it to work on my laptop. I don't want to have to go find another one. I really like this one. It's a Logitech 920C, and it's been a great camera, but I have had it for a lot of years, and I don't know, nowadays they don't always build things to last, so I might have to get a new one. I don't like shopping for electronics. If you Okay, they're not evil, but they're a necessary thing that I just as soon not have to do. And I just realized I forgot my box. So hang on a second. Let me get the box because we're going to go in reverse. We're going to do the unboxing. And then I'm going to show you two more alternates for the Fluttering Garden. And then we're going to start in on our waterside retreat. So I had put a voting. Let me go back. I didn't even look this morning. But when I looked the other day, there weren't any votes. So, yep, looks like we had one vote. And she couldn't decide. So I decided to decide for us. So it was my choice. So my choice is I'm just going to show you the other two alternates that I have, and then we're just going to dive in. But first we're going to start with a quick unboxing because I got a box of Stampin' Up! Stuff yesterday, a small box, and I want to get it open. But I love to share it with you. So let's go ahead and switch cameras. Ooh, let's zoom out just a little bit. And we will crack this baby open. I think I know what's in here. You know how I am. I place the order and then I forget, and then I might place another order, so then I can't keep track of what's what order. But I had ordered the balloon festoon from the new catalog that comes out May to August. And it was supposed to be for my son's birthday card. Well, his birthday was yesterday, so I had to come up with something different. I think I told you on the other, put away, I told you on the, on Tuesday's live that I came up with something different, and I will be doing live. It's a flip-flap card that when you pull it open, let me grab it here. When you pull it open, it does this, okay? We did it years ago for a team make and take. I'm going to do it as a live, but I need to make some samples because obviously I sent my sample away to my son, and he got it on time. Hallelujah! I was so excited about that because I really didn't want it to not be on time for him, right? Because, your birthday. It was supposed to be there by 6 p.m. yesterday. He got it in the morning, so it was wonderful. It was his golden birthday. So golden birthday is when you turn the age of the date you were born, the day you were born. So he was born on April 22nd, and he turned 22 yesterday. And then I looked it up with the year that when you turn the age of the year you were born, so he was born in 2004, for his 4th birthday, that was his diamond or platinum birthday. There was another more official name, but then Google said that they tend to call it diamond or platinum. So he's already had his diamond platinum a birthday, and now he's had his golden, whereas my husband and I, since we were born in the 60s, we're still waiting for ours. And I'm not in a hurry. All right, so I got this new one. I didn't buy the stamp set and dies and stuff that goes with this floral spray 3D embossing folder, but it just looked so beautiful. I got the embossing folder. So you don't always have to buy the whole suite. Sometimes you can just buy a part of the suite. A lot of times I just get the paper. This time I'll probably get the paper too in the product share. And then I got the paper, or I got the embossing folder because I just thought it was so pretty. And we don't have a whole ton of embossing folders. And there's only 3 new ones coming out in the new catalog. So I thought, I wanted another embossing folder. And here is the balloon festoon stamp set and dies that I ordered for his birthday card, but I ordered it too late. The shipping is a little bit behind, so if you're placing an order and it's taking a little while to get there, it's just because there's so many orders. They're getting to them as fast as possible. But I got this because look at the size of those balloons. Look at that. So this large one, let's see, this large one is 6 inches. All right, it's six inches long, so it'll be great for scrapbooking as well as card making, and it can be a card base even. And so that's what I was going to do, was make a cool card, but the card I made was even cooler than I probably would have done with this, so it's all good. So fun stuff here. And what I was going to show you I like to do is I just take the dies and I stick them back here with the stamp set. That way I don't forget, because they have this new packaging with the envelopes. I don't do the, I can't glue the magnetic pad on the inside of the cover, but I may end up putting a magnetic sheet in here just because sometimes pulling it off the tape is a little bit tough because it's really sticky tape. So I love this. Looking forward to playing with it. It's going to be around for the year, so I knew that it was one of the ones that I definitely wanted to get. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this one in a little while, what to do with that one. And then I ordered a few of these because I didn't have very many, and sometimes I want to replenish. These are some new cellophane bags that we have, 4x8 bags, and I like having those around. Wanted some linen thread because I use a fair amount of linen thread. I told you I couldn't find my blender pens. Well, I found them after I ordered these, but that's okay. New ones are always nice to have. And then it turns out I didn't have any old olive Stampin' Blends. I don't know if I used them up and forgot to order or what, but here's the old olive Stampin' Blends. And then I got, what'd I get? Bloom Boutique. Oh, this is all, I wanted to make sure. I was working on the In Color product share and noticed that there was a patterned DSP. There was a DSP that was all the Bloom Boutique, that was all the Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Hydrangea, and Peaceful Pine. It was all the In Colors. So I thought, oh, well, now I have to have it. So this is the paper that goes with that. Look at that. There's some gold accents on there. Why they always hide those inside. Oh, that's really pretty. Oh, I love this field of flowers. Oh, look at that. So anyways, I was like, oh, these are all the In Colors, so I definitely need that so that I can show you cards to make with it, right? So I got this as well, even though it is part of that set that I wasn't going to get the whole stamp set, but I got the paper. I got the paper because, you know, I had to have the paper. It was all In Colors, and I've got all the In Colors. Here is something new and fun. Let's see. That's the last thing in the box. These are new masks. And look, yes, they are 12 by 12. Don't panic. New masks. 12 by 12 is okay. That means you can use them anywhere, and you don't have to worry any size. You can use them on your, can't get it open. Here we go. You can use them on your scrapbook page. You can use them on cards. As a matter of fact, let me grab those cards real quick that I have from on stage, because we got to use both of these. All right, so you can see here are the little dots. All right, here's all the dots that you can use, and I just did it in little sections. And then these stones, we can call them, you can call them stones. To me, it looks, yeah, kind of like river pebbles. All right, and that one is this right here. So they're really cool. They were easy to use. You use them with your blending brush, and or you can use them with your dauber. I think the daubers tend to make more circles unless you're really careful in how you use them. So you'll be seeing these, but they are pretty darn cool. Look at that. So I did this one a little darker and traded those sides. So those are the masks. And so I decided, you know what, I need those. Need is of course a relative word, right? You're like, June, how much did you really need it? Well, I needed it enough to order it. All right, so here's our paper pumpkin. This is the Fluttering Garden kit. I will review the cards we've made so far with it. I just learned how to color the hummingbirds. I don't feel confident enough to show you yet. I asked a friend of mine, a demonstrator friend of mine, Yarmila, to help me. And so when we had our accountability meeting the other day, she showed me how to do a better job at coloring those. Oh, here they are. So I'll show you how I started off. So I started off first with the pencils right here, and it looks okay. I'm not super thrilled, but it looks okay. Again, I couldn't find my blender pens, so I was using the water painter, and then I switched to Stampin' Blends, which you know I can do a color, I can do a flower. But the birds were something different. And so you may find, or you may have noticed, that I don't often do a lot of coloring. And if I do, I tend to use the watercolor pencils. But I really want to learn how to use the Stampin' Blends even better and more artistically. I consider myself a crafter, not an artist. So I wanted to make sure that I learn it. So I played with it and practiced with it. And this is what I came up with. Not the greatest coloring. So then she taught me some techniques, some little quick brushing, some using the light to dark instead of dark to light, and to use also the color lifter. So this was the one that I ended up doing while she was walking me through it. Looks a little bit more realistic. I still need some work. Not the best, but I still need some work. So I wanted to let you know I will be showing you what I've learned as soon as I do some more practicing. You can see I stamped out some more, and I need to do more practicing on my coloring techniques, and then I will share it with you. And maybe we'll even revisit and do some, I was about to say butterflies again, some hummingbirds together. Goodness. All right, so let's go ahead. These were the cards as designed by the kit. Beautiful. And of course, they did all the coloring. And so it's blended and beautiful perfectly. And then we had some alternates. We did this one. And then this one. And then I used blending brushes to make kind of a background and then stamped onto the paper to give the blended look, because I knew how my coloring technique was. So that looked pretty cool. It wasn't perfectly on, but since it kind of looks watercolored, it was okay. And then I did these. One was my sample and one was what I did with you. All right, and then the next ones I did, and one of them, this one I'm not super thrilled with. I really have a hard time with these postage stamps, but because this postage stamp was part of the add-on dies, I thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a whirl. But I have a hard time with postage stamp dies. They're just not my thing. But here's the card that I did. I thought it turned out pretty good, but definitely not a favorite for me. And this one I love. This was a fun fold that I got from Creative 8 from Sharon Armstrong. And so I put some Wink of Stella on the birds. All right, and then this is the product of the month paper, DSP from March, I think it is. No, not March, February. And then there was this right here. All right, so it's a kind of a trifold card, but a little different than you would think, and then the ribbon tied on the side. So I'll be showing you how to make this one, maybe with coloring the birds as well, as part of the product of the month live that I'll be doing. I'm working on making cards for that. All right, so let's go ahead and stick this all back in here. Set it aside. Over here, oh my gosh, it's snowing. I'm over it. I'm over it. We didn't have a real winter. I'm over it. I don't need it now. We had rain all day yesterday and it's snowing today. It's not supposed to stick, but still, it's cold, which is why I'm wearing my BW Baldwin Wallace hoodie. Today is meet day. Today and tomorrow is meet day for my son. So I usually, when he is competing, because he's so far away and I can't go watch him, I usually try to wear a shirt from his school in support. So I have my hoodie on today. Gave my mom my smaller hoodie so she could wear it too. We'll be twinsing. All right, so here is the Lakeside Retreat. You can see how now it is in English, French, German, and Dutch. So Paper Pumpkin has gone global, and I know everyone in those other countries is so excited and so happy to have Paper Pumpkin in their hot little hands. All right, so now just the side says 2026 April, and then it's got the name of the well, it shows you the languages it comes in, and then it says Lakeside Retreat here. All right, the box otherwise is the same. We have these second quarter dies, and I'm pretty sure they're still in the store, so you want to make sure you can only order these dies if you are a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin. Do you need these dies to do the Paper Pumpkin cards? No, you don't. These dies are typically designed for those that want to make the alternates. Nobody says you have to make alternates. You can just make the cards as designed in the kit. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's open this up. We have here our stamps, lots of sentiments. We have thanks, happy birthday, older, wiser, better. You are a lifesaver. You are an inspiration. Happy Father's Day, Dad, Son. Some birds, what looks like a rope, and some cattails. So super nice. Wonderful to have these. All right, and then we have the Peaceful Pine. So let me grab my Peaceful Pine. So that's a new in color. So you already have a taste of a new in color. And here is the new in color stamp pad, which is a little bit bigger. But the nice thing is, look how easy that opens. And it's magnetic. So when we use it, we're going to flip it over like this, and it's going to magnetize in place. And so then it doesn't fall. How awesome is that? I love it. I'm so excited to be using those. All right. And then of course, in your very first kit, you got a block. All right. And it should say Paper Pumpkin on it like that. There you go. Paper Pumpkin. And then if you do multiple kits, if you do any of the other kits, then here you can go ahead and glue two of them together, and then you can get almost the same thickness as our ergonomic blocks. So any way you want to do it, use your blocks, glue them together to make them fatter if you need to. So here we have our tissue paper. I love how they make it like getting a present in the mail. I love my Paper Pumpkin. I really, really do. I have been a fan of Paper Pumpkin since I first got it. I have not even been getting it since the very beginning. I think I missed the first few years, or the first couple of years. I don't remember exactly when I started getting it. And I no longer skip, because in the past, every time I skipped, of course back then they didn't even give you a heads up as to what was coming. But every time I skipped, I regretted it because it was such an awesome kit. So I no longer skip. Well, look at these. They look like little pebbles. Ooh, that mask would go really good with this set. All right. So we have our dimensionals, which are mini dimensionals, and then our little pebble gems. We have our tear and tape. Gotta love it. But you know that I always have my green glue on hand. Yeah, I love tear and tape, but I always have my green glue on hand. All right, so look at this though. All right, look at that. It's a little narrower. We'll talk about that at the end, but it is a little bit narrower than it has been in the past. All right, so you can see here, like that. It's just a little bit narrower. If you're wondering why, I will share that with you at the end. And what the purpose, what I figure the purpose probably is. So we have 3 different cards, 3 of each design, wonderful envelopes that you know are probably going to end up being used because of course they're really pretty, and so that it's almost like designer series paper. Ooh, here is where they are putting the stamp now. So when I was always keeping it in the fold before, that's not going to happen unless I want to cut this out, which typically I don't like cutting these up. So the coordinating colors are Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Cajun Craze, Crisp Cantaloupe, Gray Granite, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peaceful Pine, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Soft Seafoam, and Very Vanilla. That's a lot of colors. And then here are all the ingredients in the kit. When we open it up, we get our no-fail instructions. But the first sheet right here is the part I like because it shows me the ingredients for each card. So you have card 1, 2, and 3. So let's go ahead and put these cards together. So we have all the same envelopes. Look at this. It looks like designer series paper already. So you know at least one of them is going to get cut up and used for cards. All right, and then let's see, let's find the card bases. Here we go with the card bases. So we have card 1. Oh, loving the plaid, but look, you know these need to be cut up because those can be 2 different cards. Super cool. Ooh, look at that one. Ah, love it. Card 3. I love anything wood grain. Anything wood grain. And then these fun stripes is card 2. All right, so then we're going to be looking for these items. So this one is card 1. Let's see, this one is card 2. And I guess another one of these goes to card 3. And then we have lots of sentiments. They usually give you some extra sentiment pieces just in case you make a boo-boo. All right, so then for this one, we're going to put that on card 1. And then the green one is on card 2. And the crisp cantaloupe is going to be on card 3. There's some extras of those. And then we have, oh, well, we have that there, but we want this stripe as well. Like that. And we're going to put this one on card 3. This one goes on card 2. Then we have a bike. Bikes seem to be trending right now. A bike on page 2 or card 2. This little oval with the fish is card 1. This little fishing vest is right there, or maybe it's a boat vest. This little wood goes on card 2, and the oars go on card 3. And there's not usually any extras of the embellishments or of the die cuts. The typically if there's extras, it's going to be on anything sentiment. You could keep these. I usually keep at least one in case we want to do any blending brushing like we did with the others. Here are the other two for the cards. Then we have this one, which goes here. And then I'll put these other two in there. We have this one, which is almost like a version of the Nature on Spotlight dies. And then we have this one, which goes over here. And this one goes over here. And I'm going to keep that as well, because you just never know. All right, so we're going to set those two aside over here. And we're going to get started on card 1. All right, and let's see how they have put this card together. All right, so we're going to start with stamping Happy Father's Day. Trying to think, did I already make a Father's Day card? I could probably do this one for my husband, actually. Happy Father's Day. So we'll bring this over. And I'm going to just grab a smaller one. So I want to make sure to kind of condition it. And then, of course, we always check. Ooh, I'm so excited. This will be my first time using an in color in the new stamps. So these are no longer the foam. They are now the felt pads. They've gone back to the felt pads. Those were much better. And so now you also can't like shove your stamp in so hard that it gets all over the place. I suppose if you tried, you could, but tapping it and then try it out. There we go. Stamps beautiful like that. And we want to center it in here like that. All right, there's Happy Father's Day. And then on this one, we're going to stamp, ooh, that's small. You are an inspiration. There we go, there's that one. And we'll get another block. Kind of condition it a little bit. Check it out. Yep, stamps beautifully. We're going to stamp that right in there. Oop, I think I did it. Yep, just a little crooked, but I'm not going to worry about it. If it bothers you, that's why there's at least one extra for you. All right, and then we're going to stamp on the front of the card. All right, so first we're going to stamp the cattails, and then we're going to stamp the birds, the seagulls. All right, so I'm going to use this one for the birds, and I think it will also fit. I like to do it diagonal so that I'm not lining up my stamp block. I'm lining up what I'm stamping. All right. All right, so it shows us here with arrows. The birds are going to go in the top left corner and the cattails are going to go in the bottom left corner. So we're going to do the birds first. See how they stamp? Yep, they stamp great. Like that. All right, and then we're going to stamp this. Ooh, I think I finally hit the juiciness. All right, let's see. In the bottom left-hand corner, here we go. Just like that. All right, you know what? I'm going to flip this over and do the Father's Day one more time, because I feel like maybe I was a little light with it. Maybe it's just the font. Nope, that one's a little bit darker. You can see that. There's this one and this one. Maybe you can't see that on there. Let's see. All right. There we go. We're going to use that side. All right, so now let's close this up. So when you close it, you can just pull it this way and put it on that and then flip it over. All right, set that aside. Let's put this card together. So it's showing us here, everything's a little bit smaller because they made it narrower. I think there's a lot of white space. They could have made it a little bit bigger, but that's okay. We can see it. So we have dimensionals going on the back of this. We have a strip. So here's your tear and tape, a strip of tear and tape here and dimensionals over here. And then we have 2 dimensionals over on this side, so just half of it. Where's our other piece? And then on this one, we have, let me make sure you are inspiration. So we have the 2 dimensionals over here and then a strip. And then on the back of the Happy Father's Day is 2 strips of the paper. All right, so I'm going to do this one like that. And they have that turning that way. I stamped it completely wrong. So we're going to restamp that. I'm going to go. Yep, I did not look closely. It shows here it's going up and down. It's going in the vertical. All right, and I was supposed to also stamp that little rope. So we're going to put that back on. Oh, there we go. Put that right here. Let's bring that in. See, this is where they gave me and you an extra one of these so that when you stamp it wrong because you didn't pay close enough attention. See, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. We're going to bring this back over and we're going to stamp it the way it's supposed to be stamped. All right, let's bring back our ink. All right, like that. Get this out of the way, our ink. So now we're going to do the Happy Father's Day again, going in the right direction. Maybe that's what I didn't like, the fact that it was so bare. All right, then where's that other stamp? And then we're going to do that little rope. And I'm going to put that on there. All right. And we're going to stamp that across the top and stamp that across the bottom. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. All right. Now let's keep putting it together. All right. So now it makes sense to have your tear and tape across the top and bottom. Oh, June, June, June. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. I know exactly what you're thinking. All right, let's go ahead and fold that and crease it. It's a beautiful backside of a card, but I don't always feel like the backside needs to be as pretty as the front. So I'll be cutting those up. You know that for sure. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick this to the front of this before I put the dimensionals on it. There we go. Now we'll put the dimensionals on it. Let's get our Take Your Pick tool because it is minis, and I'm actually going to grab a mini sheet that's already started. Do I have a mini sheet already started? Oh yeah, here. Nope, these are regular size ones. All right, I guess I will just start this one. All right, So we're going to put 1, 2, oh, took 2 of them, 3, and then on here we're going to do 1, 2, and then on this one we're going to do 1, 2, and then on this one I'm going to go ahead and use the maybe I won't. I'll go ahead and use theirs. Let's see. So we have 1, 2 across the top, and they have 2 across the bottom. At least they realize that with the minis you kind of gotta use a few more. And then they've got some diagonals going on. They only have 2 diagonals going on. I think I'm going to do 3 diagonals going on, because you know I like mine stable, right? Gotta have it stable. No wonkiness when it comes to this, because otherwise you might get some sagging, and we don't want any sagging, and there's a lot riding on this. So then we're going to move those out of the way. We're going to take our papers off of here. Here we go. Come on. Sometimes it gets too full. All right, so we're going to take this, make sure the card's opening the right way, although it should because it's going in the direction they want. And then you're going to put this over here, over our little boat, and it's popped up. All right, which is why you have dimensionals on one side of these, not all sides of those. All right, so then we're going to start with this one. And it's going to go right here. So this side will stick down here, and then you've got the dimensionals here. Then above that is your fish. Definitely got to go fishing this year. I need to finally catch a fish. I need to finally catch a fish, right? Haven't caught a fish yet. I need to catch a fish. And then this one will go right under here. Like it's hanging off of there. Ooh, I like this one. And then we want our little pebbles. So we're going to use our take your pick tool for that. And we want, oh, maybe we need this side of the take your pick. We want this one over here. So 1, 2, a skinny one, 3, and then we're going to put 2 more pebbles. They went with 5 on this one. We want 1 over here, and then a skinny little one right there. All right, because you can see here they have the pebbles down below. They show you there's 5, which shape, and there they go. All right, cute, 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 cute. I love that. And then you can write whatever you want on the inside. You can write yourself a long note to Pops, to your father. All right, there we go. There is card 1. I think on this, I'm going to add a couple birds and the grass. Cat's claw. No, cat. What's it called? The cattails. Stamp once, ink twice. No, ink once, stamp twice. I said that backwards. Okay. And up there. And so I'm just going to put what if I were to mail this, I would just put my address label on the back instead of on the front. Whenever I do something up here, I tend to put the address label on the back. But anyways, there we go. And here is card 1. I like it. I'm working on doing more layers like that. I like the look. So I'm like, okay, June, you got to start doing that. All right, let's bring in card 2. Let's see if I can stamp it correctly and not mess up. All right, so card 2, let's look closely. Where do the stamps go? All right, so we need happy birthday, older, wiser, better on these 2, and then we need the birds on here and the cattails on here, and that's it. All right, I can do that, right? I can do that. We'll start with the cattails and the birds. There are the birds. The birds are going to be over here. And the cattails are going to be right here amongst these and over here. All right. No, don't move that. Take this and this, and you want to make sure that the flat side is up above. All right, and then we need the happy birthday and older, better, wiser. I'm going to grab one of my blocks that I've glued them together, and I can do the happy birthday on that side, flip it over, and do the older, wiser, better on that side. Just use my hand oils to prep that. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. All right, so center that. There we go. And then this one. Yep. Older, wiser, better. All right, there we go. And again, we're just gonna pull that out and put it on there. All right, now let's put this baby together. This one went together a lot quicker since I didn't make a mistake and there was less stamping. So here we go, perfect for cutting and making more. And who doesn't need more cards? As I look over at my stash of cards that I need to mail out. Would you like me to send you a card? If you would like me to send you a card, because I need to send out cards, please message me with your address and I will send you a card. All right, honest to goodness. All right, so this is going to go right here. See, and then we're covering up all those stripes. This is going to have dimensionals on it. This is going to have tear and tape on it. This is going to have tear and tape on it. This has dimensionals. This has dimensionals. And this has dimensionals. All right, so I'm going to put the dimensionals on here. Here we go. Like that. Oops. And then we'll do these dimensionals like that. And then the other dimensionals are on this one. You know what? I can't do all these minis on here. I cannot do all the minis on that one. You are welcome to do that, but I am going to cheat and use my bigger ones because this is a very big piece. And I would feel like I had to put a bajillion of those little ones. I guess what you could do is you could also use the edges on here. That's if I didn't have larger ones, that's exactly what I would do, is I would use these edges and put them on here. But I thought of that too late, so I can't show you that because I had already put these on, and of course I don't want to waste these. So I'm just using these. And though this is going to go on here, centered, like that. And then this is going to go over here, like that. And then another piece right here, like that. And then one on there. And then we have dimensionals on the bike. So we have one up here. See, with the minis, you just have to use more. So that's why I tend to use the minis just for when I have little things or little spots to put them on. Because with the bigger dimensionals, you wouldn't have to use quite as many. Let's see. So anyways, we'll use these. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. How many of you shop at Costco or what's the other one called? Sam's Club, where it takes a while to go through it. Even if you have a list, you end up looking at other things. Well, today's our Costco shopping day. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Well, it's close to my father's appointment, so it's like, well, okay, we might as well just go. Here we go. We're going to do this one up there. He's got an appointment today, so we're just going to go run over to Costco on our way home because it's actually on our way home. So that worked out perfectly. All right, and then this goes on the bottom here, like this, across the bottom. There we go. Or maybe, oh, that was supposed to go underneath. Let's see if I can still get that off. Oh, oh, whew. All right, so it goes underneath here, butted up against it. I saw that, and then I realized, oh my gosh, but then you're covering what you stamped. So it goes just below it, and then it tore just a little bit, but there's going to be a sentiment there, so that's okay. So then this one goes up here like that, and this one goes over it like that, and then this is writing right there. And then we have our little rocks, whoop, all those staticky things. And we're going to use this rock right here. Sounds like my dad woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I hear grumpiness, which is about normal, but every now and then. Yesterday morning he was pretty chipper. Or the day before, I can't remember now which day. Every now and then he's a little bit chipper. There you go. All right. And there we have card 2. I love these little pebbles. Those are really great enhancements. All right. So we're going to, again, do some birds. Where's my birds? Here we go. We'll do this one. right here. And then we'll do the birds right up there. Remember, the right side and the bottom is for the post office. So make sure you're not decorating the whole envelope, because you got to be able to put your stamp here, your address here, and then they usually put that sticker, that barcode sticker here. So I wouldn't even decorate here because your person isn't going to see it. You can totally decorate the back of the envelope if you want, but I wouldn't decorate the front fully. Just this little side is ours. Okay, because normally your address label would go here and then you can do something here, but you don't want to do anything on the other side of the card. There you go. There is our second card. Let's get our third card going. All right, here we go. So we have some stamping. We have thanks, Dad. We have the rope again. Then we have you are a lifesaver. And then we have the cattails. All right, so we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that or that. We just need this. All right, so we're going to fold this in half. You know I'm going to be cutting these up. These card fronts really are screaming, separate me, separate me. Make more, make more. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the cattails. Move that out of the way. Put that over there. Cattails. First, we need our ink. I love how easy this is. How it just kind of slides into place on its own because of the magnet. All right, so we're going to do this one. They're going to go upside down. So we have this one going this way. And this one drop down a little bit over here. All right. Then on our sentiment piece, which of course I paid attention to the direction. It also wants the rope. So you're going to do the rope up there. And the rope down here. There we go. And then we'll get another block out. We're doing the thanks, Dad, and you are a lifesaver. And then there's son. That's the only one we're not using today. So we're going to do Dad right there. I'm going to do thanks right there. And then I think we'll be able to do that one right there. Yeah, I think so. All right, so let's kind of get these ready. So we're going to start with the thanks. Beautiful. So we're going to do thanks. And then flip it over and do Dad. And if you're worried that you're going to end up messing something up or inking something wrong, then just clean the stamp and take it off. Let's see, how's that stamping? So when you have more space on there, that one's better. So sometimes you have to stamp it a few times to kind of get it all prepped and ready to go. There we go. All right, thanks, Dad. And then on this one, we have, because it's skinny, that's why this will work okay. We're going to do you are a lifesaver. And you're not going to get the thanks on there because it's just something skinny. If you had a bigger piece of paper, you wouldn't be able to do it. But because you are just doing it, we want it over to the left. You are a lifesaver. So because it was skinny, we could have this mixture of stamps. All right. If you have something larger, like you couldn't have done it with something like this, because then you might have inked up over here. So you can do it with smaller stuff. You just have to pay attention to where you're stamping and what you're stamping on. All right, so let's put this card together. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. We're going to turn this over. It gets dimensionals, and because it's so large, yes, I will be cheating and using my big ones. This gets tear and tape. This gets a 2 dimensionals and then a piece of tear and tape. This gets, oh no, this one gets 2 dimensionals and a piece of tear and tape, and this just gets 2 pieces of tear and tape. This one gets a piece of tear and tape. This gets 3 little dimensionals over here in this corner, and these both get dimensionals and tear and tape. So let's see. And we're going to use, oh, you know what? I'm going to show you on this instead. So for this, because it's so big, I'm going to cut pieces out of the edge. All right. So here we go. And this way they're larger and not those itty bitty things. And then you don't have to have quite so many, which is always my goal. All right, just like that. Look at that. All right, and then this is tear and tape. So then we're going to use some dimensionals, and that's part of the reason why I tend to go along a line so that I can use it if I want to. Oop. So here we go. 1, 2. Well, let's grabbing 2 at a time. Sometimes it does that. 1, 2. Then we have 1, 2, 3 in that corner. And then we have 1, 2 down here. And that's it for dimensionals. The rest is tear and tape. So we're going to do 2 pieces of tear and tape across here. Like that. We're going to do 1 piece of tear and tape across here like that. We have 1 piece of tear and tape across here. Oop, that's a little too long. I can just fold it back. Make the next one a little shorter. And then let's see. Tear and tape across this whole thing. Like that. And then 2 itty bitty pieces of tear and tape. That's the beauty of the tear and tape. So you can make it any size you want, like that. And then those I can fold in as well because they are a little bit big, and I'll show you. The Take Your Pick tool is the tool for that. So we're going to go ahead and take this off of here. Oh, yeah, if you don't get it down all the way, it doesn't like to come up. All right, so you see where, oh, see. All right, you see where it's hanging up over here, hanging off? You just flip it over. All right, just flip it over, flip it down. It's hanging a little bit there. Flip it over. Well, maybe that's not hanging. All right, and then this one went on here, so we'll line that up. Like that. And then here where I got these a little bit too big, So you want to make sure to press it down so you can pull it up. Pull it up. Anything that's hanging over, you can just curl. I think this one might be the one that has it hanging over. Here we go. Yep. So anything hanging over, you can just curl it. There we go. All right, so let's get all these backings off so we can put the card together. And yes, I like to typically take off all the backings before I put it together. That way I can just grab it and put it on the card. And that's, why is that not coming off? Here we go. But then of course you want to make sure that you don't let them stick to each other because that would make it a messy business. All right, here we go. What are you thinking of these cards? Do you feel like anything's missing? I love the little pebbles, but I feel like linen thread would really enhance this. So you can bet that I'll be using linen thread on my alternates because I feel like that would really just go with it beautifully. And I'll show you the set from the new catalog that this will be coordinating with, or that this coordinates with. All right, so first we have this. And then we're going to put this inside it. We want to center it like that. All right, and then it's going to go, I was trying not to touch the sticky parts. All right, so this is going to go here, kind of above center. All right, then we have this one going across here. Let's see. There we go. All right, and then this one is hanging off of that. So you just stick those little pieces up under there a little. Come on. Did I get it too close? I stuck that down too well because I should have stuck this down first. All right, I've just noticed that's a little bit crooked, so we're going to carefully take it off. There we go. We're going to stick this down first, like that. And then I can use this to make sure it's not crooked. There we go. You are a lifesaver. And then we have one of these going this way, like that. And one of these, let's see, going this way, like that, a little bit higher. There we go, like that. And then this one kind of crosses over, goes up here. There we go. Ooh, I like this one. I like this one. I could actually send this to my son to send to his dad, because dad, you know, bails him out. Not lifesaver, but dad helps him out, answers questions, because, you know, that's what dads do. So this one would be a great one for my son to be able to send to his dad. Now, I got some sticky, oh no, I didn't on that one. Oh no, I did good. I was thinking that I did it too long, but it's perfect. All right, so what do you think of that card? I like it. I like it a lot. I tucked that one a little too far under. It should have been showing a little bit more. This one as well. So I needed to bring, so when you stamp yours, bring this down, bring these down a little bit further so that you can do that, because you don't want this any higher. You want to have some space over here. So bring your stamped images down. Maybe I should have laid it out so I could see where to do it. Hey, what an idea, right? Lay it out first. You just never know. You just never know. Goodness gracious, you'd think I'd have that all figured out, wouldn't you? Oh, we have our pebbles. Where did the pebbles go? Oh, no, no pebbles on this one. No pebbles. So we have quite a few and lots to play with. Let's go ahead and do something with the envelope. We'll do the cattails for sure. I'm going to do it this way this time. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp one off here and then do it over here. There we go. All right, so we just got some cattails there. That works. That goes with it. All right. Love, love, love these cards. Would you like to see the stamp set and dies and DSP that goes with this set, or that I shouldn't say goes with, coordinates with? Do you have to have them to make these cards? No, everything is in the box that you need to make these cards as designed. You do not have to buy the extra stuff. Would you like to see it though? I'm thinking you probably would. So the gems that go with it, which to me really they kind of go better with the Sunset Coast. So I don't know if I'll be using these with this set or not. I might, just because they are supposed to go with it. But these cute little anchors. But there's no sailboat. So I'm having a hard time with that. And maybe it's just me. I didn't grow up around water. I don't live around water. Well, I live around boats in a way because we do have a lake. But here is the relaxing waterside with an Adirondack chair. Do you like Adirondack chairs? I love Adirondack chairs. I need an Adirondack chair. I finally have a backyard to where I could put an Adirondack chair in. And I would like a wood one, but I'll go with the colorful plastic ones that they have at Ace and Home Depot and all that if necessary. I'm okay with that. So we have a great birthday. Here's to a new chapter. Relax. Dad, happy Father's Day. Today is your day. But of course, we've got stamp sets that have mom, brother, sister, daughter, all those. This can be for anybody who loves to be at the waterside. All right. So we have a book. We have a tea or coffee cup, whatever you want to call it. We have some grasses. We have some cute seagulls. And then, of course, our fabulous chair. And then look at that. We have two different types of chairs that you can make. You can do just a regular wood chair, and then you can do the Adirondack, or maybe this is just looking at it differently. I'm not sure. It has a different backing. I don't know enough about chairs to know the difference. And then, of course, we have the cutouts for the die cut for the two stamps. All right, for the book, for the bird, for the teacup. We have some extra cattails that you could do, and then these pieces are for the chair. I can't remember which one. I think this might go to this chair. I haven't put them together yet. I'll put them together and I'll let you know. I haven't played with this set yet. I've gotten so many new ones in, I still have to play with it, but isn't that fun? Oh my gosh. And like I said, I always put them together in the same envelope that we now have, this new storage system of the envelopes. And then we just put it in here, all right, like that. Well, as you saw, I had this one from the balloon festoon. So what you can do, because people are always asking, June, how do you store your paper pumpkin stamps? Well, right now I haven't been very good at doing anything with them other than having them in the box. But with this new label, or this new piece, you could totally slide this in here. Here we go. Slide this in here. Come on. Slide this in here like that. And then, once your stamps are all on here, you can put your stamps back here. All right, so that would be a way that you could store it. And I have a bunch of extras of these because I've been combining the dies and stuff. I'm probably going to do this. I kind of like that idea. So one thing I wanted to also show you, because some people ask me, June, how do you get it back onto your acetate? Well, what I do is I take the flimsy one and I lay it down here. I put the stamps back on. Now you have to remember to put the stamps so that you can read it like that. Mine aren't clean, so I can't do it right now. And my chamois is not wet. So you put all your stamps on there so that they are face down again and so that you can read them. And then you'll just do that. And then you'll have all your stamps on here and you can slide it in the pouch. You can slide it in that way, and that way it's showing you what stamps you have. So I think it's great that they've made this narrower. I wish that they had kept these a little. They still have a lot of white here. They could have made them a little bit bigger, I personally think. Especially, like, look at all this white. They could have made that a little bit bigger. But it's still readable. You don't have to pull out the magnifying glasses, so you can still see it. I can still see it without my bifocals, but of course I use my bifocals, so it is very clear. All right, so this works. All this static, all the plastic, this means static, right? All right, so slide this in here, slide these here, and you'll have them in here, nice and easy to store. Now you're saying, June, what are you storing these in? Well, these, I found this cute, no surprise, purple little mini crate. And so this is how I am storing my stamps now, instead of across the whole bottom. So before, you know, you had to have more room to store these so you could read the sides. Now that we are slowly getting rid of these and we're just going to this is plenty big enough for these envelopes. All right, I wouldn't have been able to do it with the cases for sure, because the whole, if you can see back here, this whole part right here was all my stamps. Well, now that they are made like this, it's easier for me to have them in alphabetical order and to just flip through them like this. Okay, so, and as I was saying before, a family celebration, here is family, friends, or all the family names. And then, do we have, if you needed something other than birthday or Father's Day, you could use that one. And I think that's it for the names. So you could use these too if you don't want to give these cards just to Dad. All right, what does this one go to? A family celebration, that goes up here. All right, so I keep mine in alphabetical order. I found this cute little crate. I don't remember where I found this crate. I'll have to ask Mom if she remembers. It was either Dollar General, Dollar Tree. I think it was Dollar General. It might have even been Walmart. I don't think it was Walmart. I think it was Dollar General, actually. I don't remember seeing them at Dollar Tree. I haven't been to Dollar Tree in a while. We have a second one coming in here in Kalispell, close by. I'm kind of in a great section where I have shopping in Evergreen and I have shopping in Kalispell, and they're all pretty close. So that's kind of nice. Whereas in Whitefish, they closed their Dollar Tree there. So we'll have to see. So this is a great way to now store your stuff. Now, what do you do with their past ones? Well, you can trim it down, or you can fold it, or you can just do whatever system you were before. So with this, you could trim it down if you wanted to, but because it's all folded, that's probably not the greatest idea. I personally would probably fold this top part. You know, if you folded it right here, you could do that like that. Is that the right width? Yep, that's the right width. So you could do that, and then you could slide it. This is what I'm going to do. You slide it in here like that, and then you can slide your stamps. Now you have to put the stamp thingy with it. still for these. Whoops. You'll have to slide this in there with it. Okay, like that. You'll have that, and then you can slide these stamps in there, and then it will hold like this. And that way you can have all your paper pumpkin stamps together in here. And then you can go back through all your other ones if you want. I know, and we'll have to talk about it next week, I know that we had talked once about using the 8x6 little photo binder that we have, but I feel like this would be probably, for me, I'd be more likely to use this than I would to use that, because I had set it up, but I never finished setting it up. And lately I have actually been getting rid of a lot of my older stamps from paper pumpkins, because I don't find that I go back to them there very often, and they have just piled up after all these years. So I'd rather them go to a good home and be used than just sit in a binder on my shelf. So, but I think for these new ones, I am going to, with these, because I have a number of these newer stamp sets, like the hummingbirds. I'm not going to get rid of the hummingbirds. I don't have any hummingbirds, and I like hummingbirds. So those are stamps that I know that I will reuse, and so I would keep those. So anytime that Paper Pumpkin has stamps that I'm like, ooh, I don't have any of these, we don't have anything like that in the catalog, I'm going to keep them. So that's how I look at it. But that's me as a demonstrator. If I was not a demonstrator, I'd probably just keep it all. These new envelopes will be a great way to store them and take up and make less bulk for you than the binders. But you can do the little binder, and I guess I can show you that real quick. So this is what I had shown you before, and I have my older ones in here like this, so the little ones, but I don't have them labeled as to which one. I don't have the instructions anymore. I just have the stamps, and I've just used all the pocket pages. For the smaller pocket pages, you have to trim those down, trim the sides down so that they fit, and then it goes well in here. And then my bigger ones, you can see I've cleaned out some of them. I have these boxes that are called odds and ends, and anytime I have extra embellishments, extra die cuts and things like that, extra pieces of ribbon and whatnot, what I do is I make a paper pumpkin box. I have a label that I put over it, and inside I'll throw some stamp sets in there, I'll throw some ink spots in there, I'll throw a couple blocks in there, and then I throw in all the, you know, any extra card bases that I may have from past kits of any kinds, or ones that I've been doing. Maybe I did a partial live because I was showing a technique but never finished the card. I throw all that in there, and then I sell those at my at the Majestic when I do vendor fair, craft fair. All right, so those are just some different options for you for storing your stuff. But now they've made this smaller. They've put the stamped image back here, which I think is wise, and that way you can just slide it in and you've got it all together. And that's how I'm going to start storing my paper pumpkins. My past ones, I'll go through, a lot of them are still in the boxes, so until all the cards are completed in the box, they stay in the box, and once they're completed, then usually I was putting them in here, or I have a box, a paper pumpkin box full of stamp sets because I hadn't done anything with them. So it just depends on what works for you. What's your style? Do you reuse your paper pumpkin stamps? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. More often than not, I don't, unless it's a specific one that I really, really liked, and I'm looking for something and I think, oh, that was a paper pumpkin, I got to go look there. So that's where this will be nice and handy, because I'll be able to have it like this. just to kind of remember what the cards look like, not so much to redo the cards, because once they're used up, that's why I never kept the instructions. I just kept the stamp sets. So we'll see how it evolves. I'll let you know as we go how it's evolving for me and what I'm doing for that. Right now, I just had put all my paper pumpkins back onto the shelf, but they're stacking up, so I'm probably going to have to do something with them, and I'm going to start doing a card buffet here at the house and use some of the paper pumpkins for that card buffet as well. So I think that's it for me today. That's probably all you want to hear. We've been going, a long time, but we did do a mini unboxing. We did look at a couple more alternates for your Fluttering Gardens, and then now we've talked about organizing your stamps as well as seeing the first 3 cards from the Lakeside retreat. So I wish you a great rest of your Thursday. Have a wonderful weekend. I may pop in. Well, no, I've got card club this weekend, so I probably won't pop in this weekend, but I'm working on that flip flap card so that I can show you how to make that, because it is a super fun card and it is a wowza card for the recipient. So have a great weekend. Let me know what you're doing, and I will see you on Tuesday at the latest for a kit together, and we are going to be doing which kit do I have here for you? We are going to be a scrapbook. We're going to be doing some scrapbooking. All right, so talk to you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.